In the U.S., stock index futures pointed to a lower open on Friday morning ahead of the President's Day holiday weekend. While the Dow eked out another record closing high on Thursday, the S&P 500 and Nasdaq snapped a 7-day winning streak. Stocks have risen on the hope President Donald Trump will cut taxes and regulations. And as the fourth quarter earnings season comes to a close, Campbell Soap, Dairy and Blooming Brands are among companies set to report before the bell. There's not much in the way of data, with only the leading index scheduled to be released at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. And for the week's trading, I'm being joined by Jill Maladrino, VOA Channel's TV business correspondent in New York. Hello, Jill. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Well, it's another record-breaking week. Talk to us about this.
Well, let's look at some stats here. Coming in today's session, the S&P 500 has now gone 88 trading days without a 1% decline. Global stocks have jumped in value by more than $5 trillion since Trump's November victories. Investors have really focused on market-friendly policies. Now, this $5 trillion mark is according to Bloomberg. Yesterday's session was lackluster, and we saw a lot of recent crowded trades unwind a bit as the dollar pulled back despite better economic data and rising interest rate expectations. Overall, there isn't much going on today, with markets getting a break from all the recent Fed speakers. So far this quarter, earnings have been better, but revenues are disappointing a bit in the bottom line. Economic data has been overwhelmingly positive of late. So with rising inflation and political risks, there are a couple of factors that we need to weigh out here.
Now, what did you make of the latest press conference out of Trump administration?
It was pretty interesting yesterday, and I found it surprising that he took credit for a rising stock market, because this is unprecedented, especially this early in an administration. It's not even a month, even though it feels like 20 years for us. And I also find it pretty rich that he said he inherited a mess when we're essentially at full employment, and the market has completely corrected itself from the financial crisis. So the question is, what's going to happen if there is a correction? Will the administration take the blame on that? It's not typical for the White House to focus on that, but rather the overall economy. My guess is this is a distraction between delays in tax reform, infighting, and the toll taken on the staff, with so much thrown against the wall to see what sticks. I'm sure congressional Republicans at this point, they're aching for a pause just so that they can try and get some work done at this point.
And what's next for global markets?
Well, today's calendar is pretty quiet. There's a couple earnings out before the open, including Campbell's, McDonald's, J.M. Smucker, so really in the consumer staple sector. It's also options expiration Friday, but most of that action has already taken place in the days leading up to it as managers adjust their volatility exposure. Mostly traders are going to continue to be focused on the Trump trade and macro themes such as the lack of volatility and policy changes.
Well, thank you very much. Jill, we'll keep a watch on those data. Thank you for your time, and enjoy the rest of the day and, of course, the weekend.
Thank you. You too.
Right. I will move over now to Asia. The market there finished mostly lower on Friday as Samsung Group shares were in focus following the arrest of its chief, J.Y. Lee. Japanese shares were lower, with the Nikkei stock average closing down 112.91 points, and the Topix fell by 6.53 points. Australia's benchmark ASX 200 closed down 10.49 points. In Hong Kong, the Hang Seng Index was off by 0.50%. Chinese mainland shares were lower, with the Shanghai Composite closing down 27.65 points, and the Shenzhen Composite fell 13 points. The International Monetary Fund says countries in the West African Economic and Monetary Union are on track to see medium-term economic growth of about 6% after recording 6.5% growth last year. However, they maintain that the 8-nation currency zone is subject to significant downside risks, including global uncertainties, sluggish structural reforms, and falling cocoa prices. Our member countries using the West African CFA franc currency pegged to the euro include Ivory Coast, Senegal, Guinea-Bissau, Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger, Togo, and Benin. And in Egypt, the flotation of the Egyptian pound last November has provided a boost for exports of Egyptian vegetables, which are now more competitively priced on the global markets. Let's watch this.
Egypt's agricultural exporters are seeing a surge in demand and finding new foreign markets only months after the currency was floated, with many rushing to expand capacity to keep up. Egypt's pound has roughly halved in value since the central bank abandoned its peg of 8.8 to the dollar on November 3rd, making Egyptian fruit and vegetables look cheap and attractive to foreign buyers.
بالنسبة للصادرات الزراعية المصرية
November's flotation of the currency gave a push to the Egyptian agricultural producers and exporters. So if we pay attention to the last 3 months of last year, we'll see that agricultural exports have increased by a lot, by rates higher than previous years. This is a result of the currency flotation, which led to a more competitive ability for Egyptian exports and opens new markets, which we had been working on for maybe 2 years.
The currency flotation helped Egypt to secure a $12 billion International Monetary Fund loan to support a wide-ranging reform program aimed at restoring foreign inflows and reining in the budget deficit. A series of tax increases and subsidy cuts, along with the currency depreciation, have driven inflation to record levels in a country where millions live a paycheck away from hunger.
We'll take a quick break now, and when we return, Guinness Nigeria tells its success stories in Nigeria. Do stay with us.